Welcome back to the Skeptic Fan Show, everybody. And we have a special co-host tonight, NonStampCollector. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm well, man. I was scheduled to be hungover as all hell today, but I made an early escape and avoided that fate. So it's very, very nice to be here and coherent and thinking clearly and not in pain.
I know you said you had your puke bucket set up in your vitamin B pills. So I'm like, okay.
I was gonna. Last night was meant to be this it was a summer party for my kind of teachers association, and usually it gets fucking wild. So I was expecting the worst, but had an easy one of it.
Nice. Darkmeyer just said here, quick, somebody find Van Damme, non-stamp collectors.
I saw that. Someone looked like a villain in a martial arts flick.
Right.
Okay.
He's jealous of your animation.
He's jealous,
That's
man.
all
That's
that
what it
is.
is. That's all it is, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We know that from DM from way back. Yeah. He's still trying to figure out how to get those figures of his to stop fucking moving.
And he's trying to get away from those long fingers his characters have too.
He does have long fingers.
Don't they, man?
Yeah, they do have
fucking long fingers, man. No doubt. Hey, look at the pooch, TJ. All right. What are you trying to make him do, TJ?
I'm just trying to get his face on camera.
Oh, his face is on camera. Don't worry.
He's on.
Yeah,
He's cute.
Sweet Doge.
All right, let's get on to our next topic here. We got two more topics. The last one's going to be pretty entertaining, I think. This topic is going to be Oklahoma Ten Commandments monument ruled unconstitutional. I think it's a video. Let's see here. Yeah, it is a video. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
In the meantime, there is a fight going on over religion in Oklahoma today. The state Supreme Court ruling that a monument of the Ten Commandments has to be removed from the Capitol grounds because it violates the state's constitution. We've been down this road before. Where is this one going? Casey Stiegel is following the story for us from Dallas. So, Casey, what prompted this ruling?
Well, Martha, this is based off of a lawsuit that was filed by the American Civil Liberties Union of Oklahoma, or ACLU. The reason they argue that monument, they say, is a violation of the state constitution is because it is placed and it's considered use of public property for the benefit of a system of religion. Now, in the 7-2 vote, Oklahoma Supreme Court justices ruled on the case after a lower court said last September that the prominent fixture could stay on the Capitol grounds, but the ACLU appealed on behalf of 4 plaintiffs, and they're pretty confident this judgment will stick.
The U.S. Supreme Court, under our system of federalism, essentially says to states, you know what, if you're not violating the U.S. Constitution in some way, we're not likely to second guess how you interpret your own laws.
Now, that monument was first put up in 2012. It had to be replaced earlier this year after a man drove his car through the original one, destroying it.
So what's been the reaction from the supporters of the monument to this news?
Well, the Attorney General of Oklahoma speaking out, and he says that he believes the justices got this wrong. In fact, he has already asked the High Court for a rehearing of the case. Scott Pruitt says in the interim, the order cannot be enforced. Earlier this year, a state lawmaker personally paid for the replacement monument out of his own pocket when the previous one was destroyed. Here's how he described this on Fox and Friends this morning.
That's good.
I find it really odd at the eve of the birthday of our founding of our country coming up, this decision coming out. This is kind of a slap in the face for all of those who have fought for freedom.
A spokesperson for Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin has said that she, too, is disappointed by the court's decision, Martha.
It's so amazing. Like, when is Oklahoma going to learn? Isn't this the same state where they had the satanic...
Yes.
monument erected? I'm like, when are they going to
they were going to.
They were going to, and then,
No, Florida's where they actually have it erected. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, listen, man, our country was founded on secular principles and not religious whatsoever, but, we got to see, we know that there's a lot of these monuments in the court halls on private lands or government lands, I should say, and they need to be taken the fuck away. I'm like, it violates the U.S. Constitution, First Amendment. It definitely does. They should not be, choosing one religion over another. It's called equality. So,
right.
Drew,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, they had there was another video where they interviewed the guy that was the head of the Satanic Temple or whatever that was going to put up his monument and everything, and of course they did their little deal with him, but the the bigger point. Well, first off, I'm kind of actually sad that we missed out on a satanic monument in front of a courthouse in Oklahoma. That would have been
funny,
fantastic, like
Yeah.
hilarious. But to the point of this, one of the things they tried to talk about, and they try to talk about all the time, is they try to do this thing where they try to make the Ten Commandments, whenever it gets pushed, like it needs to leave. They try to do this little thing where it's not religious though. They try to make that kind of connection. Like, well, wait a minute. This is just, the foundation for law. This has nothing to do with Christianity or whatever. That's one of the most interesting things, I think. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, that make that the argument, man. If that's where they want to take it, then you say, all right, let's play on that game. Now, how many of these freaking laws do you actually have in your legal system? And I mean, Jesus, if they want to play that game, then fuck, let them.
Yeah,
they don't think through their arguments. Like, it's checkers to them, not chess. Right?
Yeah.
They don't think past they're like, well, this is the next move. They don't think what the consequences are, how to explain it away, or anything like that. And they're children in their thinking when it comes to this. So yeah,
what is it?
Checkers and chess is perfect.
The Ten Commandments, the first 4 have nothing to do with morality, of course.
Correct.
I think there's only 2 that are actually laws: killing and stealing.
Well, it's 3 if you count perjury.
Yeah.
Well, for lying under oath. But I don't think that's actually. But that's not actually what it means in the text. Like, just lying is supposed to be banned. Well, in some states, I think they still have adultery on the books. In some states,
Yeah,
it's
they
just
do.
not enforced. But
My
really,
state's
you
one
only
of them,
have, at least for like federally, you only have 2 out of 10. So that's a fifth of the list.
I think, Paul,
So-
do you have a statistic on that, Paul? Were you going to say something on that?
No, I was just saying my state I know is one of the ones that actually has adultery in the books, but it's like it's a stupid one where you have to, like, the spouse has to charge, like, so it can't. It's like obviously it can't be like the prosecutor's like, oh yeah, I'm going to charge you with adultery. No, the spouse has to press the charges, so it doesn't happen that often. Though it does happen often in the military, and that's how you can get fucked over in the military actually.
Yeah.
For
If you get
adultery?
charged with adultery in the military, you are fucked.
Really?
I think you know who came out with a good video about this, and it's a shame he's dead. He died early. Was George Carlin, man. When he made the video about the 10 Commandments, he's like, let's combine these commandments a little bit. And he came out with just 2. It's like 2. It's like, my God, I got to post that video when we post this.
Then
video.
you also have Jim Jeffries. Don't be a cunt.
Yeah, don't be a cunt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Jim Jeffries. Yeah, he's like, he talks about the 10 Commandments. He goes, what it boils down to is just don't be a cunt.
Isn't it kind of funny though that right there is a better list than the actual 10 Commandments? That one commandment, don't be a cunt, is actually pretty much wraps it up.
And Christopher Hitchens came out with a good video on that too, about the 10 Commandments.
Yep.
So I'll post that video too when
that.
this video comes out. It's pretty good. So TJ,
Well, yeah, I
anything?
mean, it's like
Go ahead.
don't have it on private property. Don't have it on government property. How fucking hard is that?
Exactly. You could put it on your church, at your church building, whatever, in the front, inside
I
church.
think if you're gonna put it on your own private property, then you have to obey those laws. Like, that means you've got to close on Sunday.
Yes.
No question. You can't be there on Sunday.
Yeah, if you're like so gung ho about that you
That
would have
would
it
be-
moved from
yeah.
the courthouse to your place.
Exactly.
Yeah, that should be mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, no graven images or anything like that. If you have
and if you
Jesus
get
inside the church, you got to take it down.
Yeah.
And if you get busted working on the Sunday, then you got to take him down. That should be the deal. Like, we want you to take it down. You want to have him. Okay, you got to obey him, or else we win.
Or and after that, if you are working on a Sunday, you either have to take it down, or we get to beat you to death with rocks. Those are your two.
We'll take you in front of the fucking government building there and stone you. That's fucking awesome shit. But yeah, I mean, like, this is just the hypocrisy we got to deal with, and the bias, and the confirmation bias. We got to deal with. When people want to like erect, and people pay for this shit too. Like this guy we just seen in the video, he paid for this monument. And supposedly they had to put that little tiny snippet in there saying, yeah, the first one, somebody just drove their car and ran right the fuck over it. And there was a picture online where you could see it where it's broken up in 3 pieces, and then this guy paid to get the new one put up. I'm just like, okay, that's pretty funny that they actually had to put that in there. Like the first one was originally ran over by a car.
Did they? Because I remember when that happened. Did they ever? Was that intentional, or was that just an accident? Or?
I don't
I think
know.
it was
I
an
seriously
accident.
don't know.
I think it was a drunk driver.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know.
Drunk
I
driver
believe-
smashes the 10 Commandments. That's good.
That could
believe
I
so.
could see that. And if I was drinking and driving, I'd probably fucking knock something like that.
Well, at
over
least
too.
it was a good outcome instead of someone else getting hurt.
Yeah,
True,
Just
true.
smash a shitty monument.
Yeah, exactly.
He was looking for the local AA meeting.
Is it
You
here?
do need to give yourself over to a higher power, and he gave himself over to a higher power. It's just so happened.
I would have
smash the
loved to
monument.
have
I don't know. That's a
have-
sign.
It would have been epic to have like one of the pieces from the broken one. Been like, no. This is one of the original, man. This is one of the ones Moses popped it. It would have been funny if the driver's name was Moses. It's like I had to smash the tablets. You don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Dark Matter made a joke about that earlier. It was like, was he driving a Ford Moses?
Yo,
That's funny
Fucking
shit.
Dark
But
Matter.
what it boils down to is, yeah, the religious demographic, the funnies, devouts out there, they're gonna be pissed off over this. But you know what? Hey, listen, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? And they're saying that we're being persecuted. You're not being persecuted because these Christians don't know what real persecution is. Go over in Africa where the Christians and Muslims are fighting over Car Africa and all other countries, and that's real persecution. Because we're trying to uphold the U.S. Constitution. Okay, no, it's like no, you have no right for this shit, and you know, you're going to lose. You're going to lose nine
times. I
times.
was kind of curious for non-stamp. Do these kinds of conversations even happen where you are?
Well, certainly not where I am. I'm in Japan.
No, he's
but
in Japan.
As an Australian, like the Parliament does open, I think, every day with the Lord's Prayer. I don't know if it's every day or every sort of session of Parliament, every whatever that means, but they do open with the Lord's Prayer. And I mean, people don't like it, but no one really gives a fuck that badly. I mean, there's no one sitting around on chat things like this talking about it. It's just not that big a deal. But I mean, we don't have the zeal from our fundamentalists that America has, not by a long shot. Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty bad over here, man. It's just like, oh my God, every day.
Yeah,
I
Oh
can't.
yeah. Well, I
It's
mean,
like that for
America
most-
America is the great exception
Epitome
to
of
all
it,
this.
yeah.
It's like the wealthiest country in the world, and at the same time the most backwards. You know, I mean, this is the sort of shit we talk about as observers. You know, me and my kind of Japanese friends or colleagues that you know to observe America from afar is kind of interesting, and that's the sort of thing you see.
bet.
You know, when you're not caught up in it. I mean, you guys can obviously see it too, but
Yeah.
It's the great contradiction. You know, it's the world's great contradiction. It's like, how can you have all this, you know, money and opportunity and chance and technology and advancement, but still at the same time, you know, creationism. I remember telling my then girlfriend back in 2007 when I met her. She's Japanese. I met her in Sydney, and telling her what creationists believe, and she truly thought she was misunderstanding my English because she wasn't all that hot back then. And I'm saying, 6,000 years, 6,000. She's like, hang on, 1,000. Hang on, 1,000 or bill? No, not billion. No, 1,000. and you know, and she'd never heard it. Can you imagine? I mean, you probably can't. But explaining creationism to somebody who has never heard of it, man, that's when you see how fucking wacky, man. I mean, because we get so desensitized to that shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but then you tell someone who's never heard of it, it's like, you know, 2x2 animals into a boat and a tower, and that's why we speak different languages, because there was this tower being built and God didn't like that, so he, you know, the only response you get is just laughter. They just fucking laugh.
It's so funny. I can imagine a conversation like that, man, trying to discuss creationism with somebody. Oh my God, yeah, dude. It's just amazing, but you know, we deal with this on an occasional, you know, basis here.
Yeah.
You know,
Look, I mean, my
occasional, but everyday
experience
basis. I should say.
of looking at the religion sort of as I do now and as I've done for the last couple of years is because I grew up with it. You get accustomed to it, you get desensitized to it, but occasionally you just get a real glimpse of what it would look like completely to an outsider. The best story I've got is I went to church for Christmas. I was back in Australia for Christmas one year, must have been 2011, and I went to church along with my family because my parents are still believers. And the guy's telling the Christmas story, and he just sort of skipped past the bit where the angel spoke to Joseph.
Yeah.
And it just fucking leapt out at me. It's like, this man is telling me what he considers a historical story. Every bit as historical as the frickin' sinking of the Titanic or the Battle of Britain, or, you know, and he's saying, an angel, this supernatural being from the afterworld, you know, had a little chat with a man. Like, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, when you suddenly see it, you know, you can glimpse past the sort of desensitization that we all have from being exposed to it constantly. And you just think, wow, he's what an incredible claim. Like, imagine somebody made a claim like that about a historical event that we all kind of understand, like the Titanic or something. Yeah, now these angels that started running around the boat. You'd say the guy's a fucking nutcase. But
the problem is, a lot of this country are nutcases, then, because they really believe that shit happened.
And it's what I was, or I should say, we were saying earlier, is doubt is like their worst enemy. Like, they can't doubt their religion, because they have to live by it.
Well, that's instilled as a child, because when
Paul.
you doubt, you're bringing the devil upon yourself.
Thanks, Paul.
And if you do that, you might be condemned to hell, because if you doubt, then you might go to hell. If you doubt the Lord, you might go to hell. That's just the way to fucking keep you in line.
Yeah.
To kind of drop a stat behind what NonStampCollector was saying, there is, in America, I think the numbers are still around like 40% of Americans like believe in the biblical account of creation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is almost half of a country of like 300 and something million people.
No wonder we're falling behind in fucking science and math and shit.
Yeah.
That really that must be a. I know it's a trip living here. I'm from Texas, so. But I can imagine what it must be like living in like a country that looks at that and just being like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I mean,
we live in three of the most we live in three of the most fucked up states. We've got Drew in Texas, Paul's in Arizona.
Here we go.
I'm from Florida, but then Joe is like the freaking
I know it.
cherry on top.
Yep.
He's from New fucking Jersey.
I know it.
So we're all jealous of you in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that shirt that you can buy there, Joe? Take her where it smells. Take her where it smells. Take her to New Jersey, right? Or no, sorry, kiss her where it smells. Take her to New Jersey.
Kiss her where it stinks. Yeah.
Kick her in it. Yeah. Oh, you guys are too much.